Alright, now moving on to our utility question is quite straightforward. All you need to do is answer directly to the question. So the question will be how useful as evidence, right? So you answer directly to the question and please mention source A is useful. You see I'm answering the question now. Is useful as evidence about globalization. This is the topic that the paper will give you. In this case, the topic is about globalization. So it says useful, you're answering directly because all sources are useful. So always start with useful first. Alright? And make an inference about the topic that they give you. In this case, the topic here is globalization. Alright? So answer directly. Is useful in telling me that globalization. After that, again, inference. Inference here is your key opinion on globalization. So what is this thing? Okay, this is your key inference. Okay, what is this thing? Good, bad? Don't say good. Don't say good or bad. Say beneficial, detrimental, harmful, and why. Okay? It can be things like beneficial. It can be things like harmful. Or it can be other things as well. Not necessarily just these two things. And then you must also tell me why. A broad reason why. Okay, that will form your key opinion that the author is thinking about when he made this source. Alright, bear in mind, this opinion here must follow your criteria of it must be in your own words, it must be clear, and it must be based on the evidence. It cannot be plucked out from the sky. Okay, based on evidence. That's why we will call this an educated. Educated meaning it's based on the evidence and it's a guess. If things are a guess, it means that it is a conclusion. It's definitely a conclusion. And because it's a guess, it's definitely a yawa in your own words. Moving on. Just quote me the evidence, right? The source states this and then explain. Okay? This means that, and when you explain, like I said before, 3 points. 3 points of explanation. In order to be very, very clear that you understand the source and you want to tell the marker that truly you do understand the source. So give me 3 points of explanation. Okay, so you're done. That is the end of your first paragraph. All you need to do is make an inference, but then when you write your first line, make sure you answer to the question and repeat that it is useful as evidence about globalization. Then your key opinion, evidence, explanation. Hey, paragraph 2, a little bit more tricky, but what you're doing in a nutshell is actually your cross-referencing. So when you cross-ref, make sure you answer the question one more time. Okay, answer one more time. Source A is useful as evidence. The topic of the question written down one more time about globalization. As it is supported, then this is the reason, right? Here is your reason why you think it is useful as evidence. Alright, this is the anchor for your paragraph. It tells the marker that the purpose of this paragraph is to tell me that source A is useful because of the simple reason that when I cross-ref to source B, it is supported by source B. Hence, this is also very important. You must write that, making it reliable. Okay, reliability must be mentioned whenever you do cross-referencing. For usefulness, you must make it go with reliable. So again, A is useful as evidence about topic, as reason being supported by source B. Link it to reliability, making it reliable. All you need to do now is tell me the point, which is the same, because you're doing useful and reliable, right? So your point, your key opinion, your inference, your educated guess is going to be exactly the same as the thing from paragraph number 1. So this key opinion is going to be the same as the key opinion of B, because they match one another, right? So they must have the same key opinion about globalization. Once you're done with that, do the same thing, evidence, the source states, and then explanation. Again, in your explanation, try to give me, if you can't, then 2 points is fine, depends on the source, depends on the marker also. But if you want to be absolutely sure that your marker will give you the marks, give me at least 3 points of explanation. This means that blah 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 blah. So once you are done with the explanation, then you write down the conclusion. Do not, I repeat again, do not forget the conclusion, because it is required for you to get marks for your cross-reference. Okay, so repeat everything. Thus, as B supports A, this is your reason, right? Reason for usefulness. Go backwards. As B supports A then is reliable. Please include reliability. A is reliable, and then hence answer the question. Useful, because the main question is asking you about usefulness. So I'll repeat one more time. As source B supports source A is reliable and hence is useful as evidence at globalization. Then you repeat that same key opinion one more time in your conclusion. Once you do everything like this, sweet, nice, you will get at least a B grade already. Now, if time permits, alright, the next part is going to be using your provenance analysis. Most of the time, the provenance analysis is going to tell you that there is an agenda, because it's unreliable, because it has an agenda, motive, or purpose. In this case, you will just write down the purpose and say, because of this purpose, hence whatever the source says about globalization is not going to be entirely true because of the inherent biasness it has. Okay, but again, reminder, not all sources are going to be biased, so you have to use the source and read it well. So something like this. Repeat, source A is not useful as evidence in telling me what's the point that globalization, what is the key opinion, the key inference that this source makes about globalization. Repeat it one more time. Then you tell me the reason. Why do you think it's not useful? Now the reason you're using is because it might be biased, because it might have a motive. Alright? Then, because this is the anchor for your paragraph, you must tell me what exactly is the motive that is making the source unreliable. So start with the context first. As the context was happening at the time, the author could have made this, and then here you have your purpose, because he wanted to convince his audience. Give me the specific audience. That what? This is the point. Okay, here you have your point. This is in hopes that the audience will. Now here's the outcome. What does he want his audience to do? It is the outcome. So once you have your purpose and your outcome, then you can claim that the source is unreliable because of the biasness, because of the motive that it has. Okay, thus, as the source may be biased due to its agenda, as you listed down just now, hence it is not entirely reliable, and hence it may not be useful as evidence. So I'm repeating everything again. Okay, hang on now. Yeah, so this is in a nutshell how you're going to write your reliability. Your utility. Okay, my pencil somehow decided to shut down. Okay, yes, it's working now. Okay, just repeat one more time. Not useful as evidence. Repeat the point, the globalization, about what about globalization? Because it might be biased due to its motive. Then you tell me the motive, starting with the context. As this was happening at the time, the author could have made this because he wanted to, here is my purpose, convince his audience that, in the hopes that the audience will do what? Okay, thus the agenda is clearly seen over there. So thus it may be biased due to its agenda. It is thus not entirely reliable. Include reliability one more time. And hence, because it's not reliable, it may not be entirely useful as evidence. Then you repeat the point one more time. If let's say you don't have time, then you don't need to, you can skip this whole paragraph because this is just about 1-2 marks. Alright, the main thing is you have to do your cross-reference properly. Okay, take note for paragraph 2. You can cross-ref to say useful. You can also cross-ref to say not useful. If you cross-ref to say not useful, right, then you must say contradicted here, as it is contradicted by source B, and here you say making it unreliable. Then you must tell me source B, tell me the alternative point. Okay, based on the same topic. In this case, the topic is globalization, but now you tell me the alternative point. The opinion is not the same anymore. It's a differing opinion about globalization that is made in source B. And make it clear, it must be a direct contrast with the original opinion found in source A. And then of course explain it again with your 3 key points that are well elaborated. Okay, make sure your 3 key points are well elaborated and linked to the key idea. Alright, thank you.